Caitlin Clark out for the remainder of the 2025 season, something we all think we knew was coming after what Stephanie White said earlier today. We couldn't be too sure until we see it for ourselves. And with this announcement from the GOAT's mouth herself, Caitlin Clark won't be returning this season, nor if the Indiana Fever make the playoffs.
The WNBA's nightmare scenario has become reality. Caitlin Clark is officially out for the season, including the playoffs, and the fans are showing their displeasure by tuning out. From questionable officiating to medical mismanagement to a commissioner completely out of touch, fans are pointing fingers in one direction: the league itself. Ticket sales are crashing, sponsors are nervous, and angry fans are demanding refunds and boycotts. How did the WNBA allow its golden goose to unravel in just 13 games? You're watching Spotlight WNBA, the channel that gives you the real story behind the league's biggest stars and controversies. If you want unfiltered takes and the truth the mainstream won't say, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Now let's get into it, because the fallout isn't just about one player's health. It's about a league that refused to protect its brightest star and is now watching the consequences burn everything down.
Well, let's talk about the WNBA and the league's demise now that Caitlin Clark is no longer going to play this season. The WNBA and the Indiana Fever, Stephanie White, Amber Cox, all the way up and including, let's just keep it real, Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver, the National Basketball Association, everybody that participated in the farce.
It didn't happen overnight. Clark's body started breaking down in May with a quad strain. By June, she was nursing groin issues. July brought a full tear, and August capped it off with a bone bruise. Each one chipped away at her ability to stay on the floor. These weren't freak accidents. They were the direct result of non-stop physical targeting. Every night, defenders shoved her off cuts, grabbed her jersey, set moving screens, and dared the referees to blow the whistle. The refs almost never did. Fans saw it live, possession after possession, and instead of protecting the face of the league, officials swallowed the whistle and let the abuse pile up until her body gave out.
The WNBA and all the people that follow the WNBA and try to promote the WNBA don't understand that Caitlin Clark's game resonates with us. I say this every day, and every day I got to deal with somebody else dumb in the media. Caitlin Clark's game resonates because she's got flair, she's got flash, she's got style. I said this before, and I'll say this again. We saw Sue Bird's game. We saw Diana Taurasi's game. Kim Mulkey was Sue Bird before Sue Bird became Sue Bird. We've seen it. We haven't seen Caitlin Clark.
Think about it. Last year in her rookie season, Clark absorbed 20% of all flagrant fouls in the league. One player taking a fifth of the punishment, and most of it came at the hands of Chicago, led by Angel Reese. These weren't tough basketball plays. They were deliberate shots, followed by players laughing as Clark limped back up the court. In any other workplace, behavior like that would lead to suspensions or even arrests. But in the WNBA, it was ignored. Instead of protecting their star attraction, the league allowed her to become a target. And the result is the league's entire season collapsing with her.
The folks that cover the NBA, these people that play in the NBA, these people that cover the NBA, there, I said these people, all of you, black, white, green, purple. Why don't you understand a very simple thing? Her game is dynamic. Like Diana Taurasi was like a jackass to Caitlin Clark. Why? Her game is what people are drawn to. And then you go to the personality. Her game is different than any WNBA woman ever. And she wins, and she shoots from deep. It's no different than Steph Curry. How many times we got to say?
Clark wasn't just another rookie. She was the investment. She single-handedly filled arenas in Dallas, Las Vegas, New York, and Chicago. Networks wrote record checks to feature her games in prime time. Sponsors attached their brands to her name. And yet, while the league happily cashed those checks, they treated her like just another player on the floor. She didn't get the calls other stars get. She didn't get the whistle when defenders bodied her off the ball. She was forced to absorb contact night after night until her injuries piled up past the point of no return. You can't claim to celebrate record growth when you're letting the very player responsible for it limp into the locker room every week. That's not just negligence, that's sabotage.
I mean, it's a gut punch that basically encompasses an entire season of them. The Fever have lost so many players to injury, but obviously none bigger than Clark. And there was such a wait for this second season after her magnificent rookie season. And then, the anticipation of her possibly coming back, only for that not to happen, takes a lot of air out of the room, obviously takes a lot of energy out of the fans, and is a devastating blow for not just the Fever and the WNBA. But the good news is her career is not over.
The missteps weren't only on the refs. Indiana's medical and coaching staff share the blame. Everyone knew Clark wasn't healthy. Reports from training camp already mentioned quad tightness. Instead of sitting her, she was trotted out for every practice, every event, every game. By June, it was a groin strain. By July, a tear, and through all of it, she kept playing because the alternative meant empty arenas. Fans bought tickets expecting Clark, and the league wasn't about to say no to that money. Her burst was gone, her cuts looked labored. She grimaced through minutes she never should have logged. Yet the team listed her as day-to-day, tricking fans into believing a return was just around the corner. In reality, Clark was nowhere near 100%. That disconnect between what fans were told and what insiders knew created a sense of betrayal that is now fueling boycotts.
This is on your head, Kathy Engelbert, and the rest of the WNBA Players Association executive leadership who failed to hold officials and players accountable for the barbaric style of play the Fever and Caitlin Clark have had to endure this year. Kathy, resign.
When Commissioner Kathy Engelbert finally addressed Clark's season-ending injury, she had a chance to show leadership. Instead, her statement read like a corporate press release. Hollow optimism, vague references to growth, and not a single word about officiating failures or accountability. Fans weren't fooled. They saw a commissioner celebrating profits while ignoring the fact that referees allowed Clark to be battered nightly. Engelbert became the symbol of a league that puts PR spin above player safety. And once fans felt that disconnect, the anger only grew louder.
We've got Colin Cowherd saying, you know what? Guess what I didn't talk about on my show this year? The WNBA. Guess why? He just come out and said it yesterday. Because Caitlin Clark was not playing. That's why. He said, I led my show, my biggest, largest national sports radio show in the country. I led my show with Caitlin Clark 6 times last year. I mean, you don't lead a show with anybody unless they can draw.
The collapse was instant. Ticket resale values for All-Star Weekend in Indiana plummeted from over $200 to barely $60 overnight. Sites were flooded with fans dumping seats they'd circled for months. Remember, this was supposed to be Clark's homecoming showcase, the centerpiece of the league's marketing. Without her, the event felt hollow. It didn't stop there. Attendance dropped in every city she wasn't playing in. Television ratings that had soared thanks to her presence nosedived. Sponsors who signed up for the Clark effect suddenly found themselves tied to games that weren't delivering. Colin Cowherd said it best. He led his national show with Clark 6 times last year. This year, he admitted he didn't even mention the WNBA once after she went down. That's the kind of economic crater the league is facing.
For the last 2 weeks, Stephanie White knew where this was going to end up. I would say for the last month or so, they kind of had a feeling where this was going to go. The main issue, another day-to-day injury that turns into a season ender. Another day-to-day injury that turns into a season ender. And if you don't call that a lack of transparency, I don't know what to call that.
The betrayal cut deepest for fans. They were told Clark was day-to-day, kept on the hook with false hope, and sold tickets under the promise she'd return. When the truth finally came out, they realized they'd been strung along for months. Refund requests flooded in. Boycott campaigns spread across social media. Playoff games are already at risk of empty seats, not because fans don't care about the sport, but because they no longer trust the league's word. The WNBA had one job: protect its golden goose. Instead, they sacrificed her body for short-term dollars and destroyed long-term trust in the process.
They could have easily said 2 months, 1 to 2 months, be evaluated in the next 6 weeks. Instead, they played this day-to-day, game-time decision, probable, questionable nonsense for the last 8 weeks. And that is why fans are so pissed off for the most part. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know if they were upfront and didn't BS us, people wouldn't be that angry at the organization, at least not as angry as they are now.
Indiana isn't rolling over, though. Kelsey Mitchell continues to light it up, dropping 30-plus nights that remind fans of her scoring talent. Aaliyah Boston is stepping up as the emotional anchor in the paint. Lexi Hull keeps grinding, and Sophie Cunningham brought toughness every game until her season-ending injury. But let's be honest, without Clark, the Fever are fighting uphill. Their ceiling isn't the same, and the league knows it. Fans don't just want a scrappy underdog, they want the superstar who changed women's basketball. And until Clark returns in 2026, that gap won't be filled.
And this is what Caitlin wrote. I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way fans continue to show up for me in the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I'm so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through the adversity this year. Now it's time to close out the season and claim our spot in the playoffs.
Caitlin Clark's season didn't collapse because of bad luck. It collapsed because the league failed her. Refs who refused to blow whistles, coaches who overplayed her, and a commissioner who ignored it all while bragging about revenue. Now the golden goose is gone, and with it, the league's momentum. Ticket sales are down, ratings are down, fans are furious, and the league is scrambling to explain how they let this happen. This is Spotlight WNBA, where we tell it like it is. So what do you think? Should Kathy Engelbert resign for her failure to protect Clark? Or can the league salvage its credibility before fans walk away for good? If you think the league failed, Caitlin Clark, drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you boycotting the playoffs? Let's hear it. And don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. The drama's only just getting started.